Yo, what's up? It is the Purple Yeti. I'm here. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know about you guys. I'm a little tired. I got my bold Dr. Pepper 10 right here. I got my ridiculous moniker. And I'm still kind of recovering. Oh, yeah. It's really not because of football, believe it or not. It's because I was at Fun Fest. Alternative music stuff. My alternative lifestyle came through in full force, and I missed some football this weekend, believe it or not. But I'm still rocking the old school K-State shirt, feeling it pretty good. They're gonna have to go old school this week. But I did keep up to date on the old dates, updates, scores, whatever you want to call those zooms. But they did beat Oklahoma State, so congrats, Cats. But let's talk about the week and maybe go over some news. So Kansas State won. It was back and forth in the first half, like it usually is. They started pulling away toward the end. At least that's what the Android app told me. And but what I didn't know was that Collin Klein was injured, and that's kind of the story this week. Is Collin Klein injured? How seriously is he injured? Is it his hand, his shoulder, his knees or toes? Probably it's his head. So the trainers took his helmet away so he couldn't get back into the game. Bill Snyder 2.0 is being a little coy on the old injury messaging, which you should expect. So that's that. The seasons are up in the air. It's actually a pretty good distraction from the team and not on the team. Pulling it away from the whole team and just putting it on Collin Klein is probably a nice thing. Also, it's really nice considering that the redshirt freshman Daniel Sams, the backup, came in, completed 6 of 7. The last one was bounced off his hands, or so I'm told by the box score recap, because of course I was watching concerts at the time. Actually, I think I was watching Refused, which they kind of got back together as a reunion show for this little thingy. You should all come down here, it's really good. So Sam's looked pretty good. He managed the game well. He didn't turn the ball over. And man, I'm telling you, if you've ever seen this kid play, he's lightning quick. He's a lot faster than Collin Klein. He probably isn't as big as a bruiser, but he is like grease lightning. Not to be all choppy Travolta-like, but that's what's happening with that kid. So, but hey, Oklahoma State had a surge, had a push. They were coming back. It was still 44-30, but not a clean game. So they go to TCU next week, and this is why I'm going old school purple. It's another purple-clad team we got in the Big 12, and I'm gonna say Big 8 first purple. You got to stick with the old school. So that's what I'm doing. Boy, the game for those two is going to be interesting, only because TCU has to prepare for both quarterbacks. Don't know how much that'll affect their game plan, really. But Patterson, Dan Patterson? I can't believe I don't remember it. Anyway, he actually was a former player for K-State in 81, 82. Gary Patterson. Gary Patterson used to play for Kansas State. He was an alumni, and he actually was a JUCO transfer, ironically enough. So, alma mater, he wants to beat him, but yeah, I don't know how much. We'll find out. Kansas State goes on the road. We'll know more about Collin Klein later on in the week. That said, I think with Daniel Sams getting some game time experience last week, it's going to help out if they do have to run with him. Because guess what? There's still Tyler Lockett, John Hubert, Tremaine Thompson, Tannehill. You got plenty of weapons to choose from. I think the biggest issue would just be how in sync they will be with each other. We'll find that out. But there's still the defense, and with the way the TCU has been trying to trot out their own backup quarterback because the other guy's in rehab, it should make for, I don't know, not easy pickings. It's not, nothing's easy in the Big 12, so they're on the road, fight on through, you know, go old school, but not like too old school, winning old school, like back when I was in college old school. So, good luck with that. What else has happened? Alabama squeaked by LSU because Les Miles is a crazy man. Notre Dame had to do 2 or 3 or 20 overtimes against Pitt to win by a field goal. Yeah, they're kind of out of the conversation. They're going to have to do some really impressive things, but they need help. They're the ones that need help more than Kent State and Oregon. Although the East and West Coast bias is sandwiching down hard on Kansas State, especially with Oregon. They're feeling the Oregon love after this weekend, even though they gave up 51 points against USC of all teams. So, but you know, Oregon jumped to number 3 in the BCS. They surpassed Notre Dame, and it's like, yeah, you beat a ranked team versus you struggling in overtime against Pitt. You know, you're probably going to move up a little bit. Computers are still a little off. Yada yada yada. Guess what? There's 4 weeks of real football left, and then the conjecture can blow up. So, yay Oregon. Big 12 wise, Texas won. They beat Texas Tech. Is this typical Texas Tech, or is this more of Texas waking up? Is that sleeping Bevo awake? I don't know. What Texas is going to find out next week is whether or not they are legit, you know, running through top 25 team, which, hey, guess what, they are. So they play Iowa State. I think it's in Austin this year. I could be wrong. But none of that matters for me. All that matters is that they win until December 1st, because that's when Texas heads to Manhattan. That's going to be a great game. It usually is between those two teams, so we'll find out. Oh man, a 10-2, a 10-1, 9-2, 9 whatever, 2-loss Texas team in Manhattan for the last game of the season and championship Saturday would just be perfect. It might help put K-State over the top, depending on if Oregon gets like a 3-loss or 2-loss either USC or UCLA team, because they're not going to be ranked in the top 25. So, you know, there goes your strength of schedule right there. So, we'll find out about that. The rest of the Big 12, you know, frankly, I care about TCU, Texas, and Baylor too. Baylor barely beat, well, they handled Kansas pretty well to get their first conference win of the season. That's all you need to know about Baylor. Their defense is like West Virginia's, and they don't have RG3, so it's still probably going to be tough because it's on the road and it is Baylor. I'm sure Baylor remembers last year's game, so, but that's not looking ahead. That's this weekend. It's TCU. So, is that right? It is TCU. Yeah, that's right. All right. So, what else nationally? Man, I'm gonna say gig 'em, Aggies. Let's hope you beat those Alabama Crimson Tide. I think there's some weaknesses shown at the LSU game, and now Alabama has to play Texas A&M, which I believe is on the road. But if I'm wrong, please correct me down below in the comments, and I'll get that squad squelched away. So, go Texas A&M. Who is Oregon is not playing anybody. Notre Dame, who cares? Yeah, so that's about it. News-wise, the concussion symptoms for Collin Klein is probably the biggest news. It's going to be interesting to see if he sits or plays. I already talked about that. Man, what else? Really what needs to happen is if a clinch, somebody clinch the Big 12. I don't know who Oklahoma's playing. I hope they lose. Actually, I don't. I'd rather have them win out too. But that's the one fun world of the BCS era, right there for you in a nutshell. The important thing is for K-State to win the conference. They got a good shot at doing that. So they just gotta stay focused. You knew they were gonna have. You know you're gonna have setbacks, so you might as well just ride it on through. You know. And I think that might be about it. I don't really have much else. I missed most of the weekend. I will not this weekend. I will be watching some football. I might be on location the weekend after, FYI, and then Thanksgiving is going to be an extravaganza with my extended vacation. Don't look for any videos. You might see one rabbled off of a tablet somewhere in some sports bar bathroom, but you can only be so lucky. At any rate, subscribe, comment, have a good week. It's November. It's getting close to the end. Hyperbole is in full force, so please partake. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.